I'm glad to be with you again. Here we are, gathered in our little room here. I'm surrounded by books in back of me, and they are real books, not just prompts, but they're the real article back there. I find them particularly interesting because they represent a period of time in my past when these authors were especially notable. But time goes by, and particular authors are forgotten in the wake of new ones who take their place. I'm going to read to you a few words today from an author who's been around a long while, and still people read what this person had to say. I am reading to you, that is, from the book of Psalms, and in this case, a psalm that is particularly accredited to David, the king of Israel and the sweet singer of Israel. Psalm 56. I'll read just a few verses to lead up to the verse that is of special interest to me today and that I hope will be to you. David is saying that his enemies trample on him all day long, and so he's turning to God, the Most High, to trust in God. All day long, he says, regarding his enemies, they injure my cause, they seek to injure my cause. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They stir up strife, they lurk, they watch my steps, as they hoped to have my life. So repay them for their crime. In wrath, cast down the peoples, O God. And then he says, you have kept count of my tossings. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your record? That is, he is saying, you know how much I tossed and turned during the night, and how much I wept. Indeed, you put my tears in a bottle so that you wouldn't forget my tears of seeking to you. Then my enemies will retreat in the day when I call. But here's the sentence I wanted especially for you to hear. The 9th verse in most of our Bibles. This I know, that God is for me. That's a wonderful comment that David makes at this point in this record. It'd be a great testimony from anybody under any circumstances. You know that in most cases, the words that are put before a psalm to indicate what the circumstances were in the writing of the psalm may be more a matter of a tradition, ideas that were there and passed on from generation to generation as to the time in which the psalm came to pass. So we can't say of an absolute certainty that these words were said by David at a particular time, but the odds are fairly good that they might be. And in any event, this is the kind of word that any of us might say in a hard, hard place of life. For David, if this be truly the setting, a very hard place. The Philistines were seeking to destroy him. The Philistines, the traditional enemies of Israel, a powerful enemy, an enemy that was committed to the end of Israel in general, and probably of David in particular, since he was the one who had killed their giant and had diminished their standing. So they wanted to be rid of him. And David sensed with that almost everyone was against him. That's the way we come to feel. When things are against us, one enemy suddenly becomes 1,000. One failure becomes a commonplace. One disappointment becomes a way of life. And so it is with David at this point. He thinks that almost everything is lost. You understand that because you've known times like that. I guarantee you have, because you're a human being listening to me. So you know what it is to have a time in your life when it seems the enemy is so strong and you have so few resources to fight back. You want to be able to say then, as David did, this I know, that God is for me. That's all we really need to know, ultimately. Whatever the count of the enemy on the other side, whatever the inventory of evil, know this, one grand fact: God is for you. Hold to that, clutch it to your bosom, thank God for it, shout it in the teeth of hell. that whatever else is going on, this you know, God is for you. Believe me, that's so. That's what's on my mind today, and I'm glad I can pass it on to you. God bless.